Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It's another Wednesday. It's another episode of the Wednesday or weekly tech forum, whichever you prefer. But it is the WTF, and we're back to our normal format today, being a panel show. And we have today Marty Pejko, who we interviewed last week, and Marty's gonna do a presentation later. Talk more about the problem that he sees among his customers. Good morning, Marty.
Good morning, Denny. How are you today?
I'm very good. And Tim is on the phone, so as soon as he gets off the phone, I will introduce him. We were talking about your company last week, and I guess and Tim looks like he's off the phone now. Tim, are you off the phone? Hang on. You have to unmute, Tim. Good morning, Tim. Tim, you have to unmute. I muted you.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. Hi. Good
Sorry,
morning,
I had
Tim.
a call come in.
No problem. Welcome back. Welcome. Welcome. Good morning. Good afternoon.
Good morning.
Yeah.
Hey, Tim.
Hey, Tim. I think before we start, we'll talk about we're talking about the getting an update on the Heartbleed attack and all that. But I wanna talk about something else. You wrote a paper recently, and actually last week after the show, and we mentioned in the show that you were going to do this. And the paper is called "Do You Have Your Personal Internet ID?"
Correct.
Right. And there was a comment, and let me read the comment. The comment says, "I enjoyed this blog when it was all about tech, and now it's all about political rant. I hated it. I don't like it." And you wrote, I thought, a very nice feedback. We're both the editors of the show, right? Are we supposed to be apolitical?
Well, I think that today everything has politics involved in it, whether you're talking about taxation, you're talking about identification, you're talking about cyber attacks. You know, it doesn't matter what you talk about today. It's got some political background. This wasn't about a political background. I didn't rant about the Democrats or the Republicans or the independents or the fat, bald-headed, ugly people. I ranted about the fact that there's a move on to take away our anonymity, which, by the way, I thought was hilarious. The guy that wrote that comment didn't even want to give me his real name or his email so I could respond to him. And that'll all go away if we have this new Internet ID. And it's not worked in China, by the way. And China was the first country to actually deploy that.
And the reality is, everywhere you go outside the United States, and I was in Taiwan recently. And Taiwan is a democracy. It's actually a very fine democracy, but still, you know, you're there as a tourist, and there's some special deals for, you know, getting 3G SIM card for your cell phone for very little money, and also free Wi-Fi everywhere. But you do have to give up your ID. It's just how it works. And so, so this is, I mean, not having to do that, and of course, you know, like you and I, we suffer the consequence of people not wanting to give their real identity, right? Because then they're not responsible for what they say. But on the other hand, it's a right that we want to fight for.
I mean, it's a freedom right. I remember when I was in law enforcement back in the 70s, you just asked a person for their driver's license. You didn't ask them for proof of insurance, proof that they own the vehicle. You asked them for a driver's license. We even have some states in the United States, some counties, where when a police officer stops you, they scan your fingerprint.
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean, simple. I mean, just think about this, right? Because we do need to verify who we are before we can go vote. But once we're in the booth and we pull the curtain, we don't have to tie our identity to a vote.
Correct.
So I think this is the issue, right? That what they're proposing is basically tie our identity to all the comments that we made on the internet.
Right. And they also there's a law. They're looking at passing a law where the Internet of Things would actually be like your direct TV. You know, you get your basic channels or your basic access to basic websites. But if you want to go to any website in any part of the world, it's going to cost you more because they want to sell you that subscription. And if you want, you know, special stuff, it's more expensive. And I think we're taking it too far. I think we need to back off a little bit and let the internet mature. I know when Vint and Surf and I talk, we always discuss the John Colt syndrome. John Colt built a weapon so we could use it to stop wars, to make everybody more equal. Unfortunately, it's used for good and it's used for bad. And everything. I mean, you can invent a stick and it can be used for bad things. You know.
Yeah. So, but I think as editors, I think our what we share is that we just want to tell you what's out there, right?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to point out. Yeah, it may have had a political tone to it, but today, unless you want to be a blank individual, you can't say something without defining who you are. And I tried to keep it technical. I gave references to all the different bills that are being considered. And if that's being a political rant, then I'm sorry I offended anybody. But personally,
we actually never pledged to be apolitical. We did pledge, and if anybody, let me just click on your screen so people can see you. Is what we do pledge is your logo, no bullshit. That's it. That's the commitment we made. So in any case, I think it was good that we had someone who cared enough to give us some feedback. I just hope that we didn't offend anybody else. This was not. I read the article. This was not a political article, but like everything else, it touches on people's lives. So if you call that politics, then it's good politics.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So we're going to turn the table now to Marty. Marty had promised to, and I actually I did look at the presentation. I think it's a very fine presentation. I think it's very appropriate for this panel. And so basically, what Marty has decided to do is to come back and rather than representing his company entirely, he's going to represent his own experience and talk about the stuff that he sees in the field, the problems that his customers have experienced, both legacy and some of the more newer issues. Marty, take it away.
All right. Thank you very much, Denny and Tim. I appreciate the forum, and I'm going to talk about Centerity today and our experience in the market and what our customers are telling us, and the problems we're trying to solve, what our customers are facing, and what problems we're trying to solve for them.
Okay.
So maybe I'll bring up the presentation if this is the right time, and let me know if how it looks or doesn't look.
Nope, not this screen.
Not the screen.
Not that one.
Not sure why I was successful last time.
You probably have to put your PowerPoint back in the presentation mode again. Okay, there you go.
All right, how does that look?
Well, no, that's not the full screen version, but
I did just bring up the full screen version. You can't see the full screen, huh?
No.
No, what you're still seeing the non-presentation version?
Well, we are seeing the slides. It's just that we're seeing everything else, but it's okay. If that's the best you can do today, let's go with that. Let's not waste any time.
Well, I can't see. I can see again on my screen. It shows everything. All I can see is my presentation. So I think that's the best I can do.
Okay.
So what we're going to do is present two case studies today, and it's all about again what we see as a problem in the market today, and the problem we're facing, our customers are facing, is more and more complexity. As Tim mentioned, the Internet of Things, just briefly, but more and more there are more devices out there to be monitored and managed by IT departments. and that becomes ever more challenging. So what our approach is really to give a single pane of glass to someone's entire environment and offer business service management views, which is really the ability to see how processes are functioning, not just individual technologies. And that's called business service management. And we believe we have a next generation approach to this problem. While business service management has been around for a while, what we've done is create a unified platform that goes in very quickly, so its time to value is very short. And then anytime you make changes to the product, it all flows through all the features of it. So our speed of execution is very quick. Our speed of change is very quick. And in this marketplace, it's really essential. And I think Gartner recognized some of that approach and named us a cool vendor in IT operations just recently. So I've skipped to the next screen. We've got some great technology relationships, people who are supporting us. We've got technology relationships with SAP and Cisco. And
Marty, we're not seeing your next slide. We're basically seeing the control screen. We're not seeing the next slide. But hang on, I got it fixed.
There you go.
There. Okay.
What do you see now?
Vendor of choice by worldwide technology leaders.
All right. So can you see? Is it full screen or just part screen?
Part screen.
All right. Now I'm going to click on the presentation mode. How does that look? No different?
No different.
Okay. Pick the window on the bottom left. Pick that window. The window on the bottom left.
Pick the window on the bottom left in the share screen area.
No. Okay, here. You know what, Marty?
Yeah.
I'm coming to the rescue.
Okay, good.
Okay, there you go. You see my screen is your presentation now.
Yes. All right. So it's smaller, right?
Okay. So you just tell me when to change slide, okay?
All right. So again, we just presented again technology vendors of choice. We've got great technology partnerships with SAP, Cisco, Citrix, and SUSE. We can maybe get some questions on that later. But go to the next screen.
Okay. Hang on just 1 second.
So what we are all about, there are lots of tools in the marketplace today, but we really view ourselves as a platform. And what we're all about is really taking data, really islands of data or silos of data, and creating actionable intelligence, business intelligence. And what you can see here is that the culmination of that is really these business process or BSM views. These are views of business processes that show you the status of your service availability, each of them. And this is a dial an executive can use. So this can be an executive dashboard where executives or managers want to see the status of their key business processes. But also operators can drill into this to see exactly what's going on and how to correct problems as they occur. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So if we were going to, again, the problem we see in the marketplace today is that, again, there are lots of tools in the marketplace, but they create really pieces. You see the puzzle there, lots of pieces. There's lots of pieces all over the place. So a lot of these tools they're actually creating problems or creating problems as rapidly as they're solving problems. In that from an organizational standpoint, how do you get a clear picture of overall status? And our approach is to really, because we're an enterprise end-to-end platform and a unified platform, we can normalize all that data and show you how your key technologies impact each other and give you a clear picture. So we try to give you the Mona Lisa, but the image is really trying to create a single pane of glass, a single view of reality in your entire environment. And you can't get that from tools and bits and pieces, no matter how many you buy. And the more you buy, essentially, it creates a problem, creates a bigger problem. So this is really just a picture of again, the comprehensive approach that we're taking to the market. It's creating capture methodologies from the physical layer, so it could be networks, servers, passive equipment, also the network layer, the physical layer, applications, whether they be standard, non-standard, big data, Oracle, SAP, etc., Hadoop. We have our own end-user experience layer, so a synthetic layer that creates additional metrics that are great for trend and predictive analysis. And ultimately, we do business service management. Again, management by process, correlating the activity across technologies and across departments really has a lot of power. And around this, we have a rich set of tools like a configuration management database, inventory and asset management, etc. Next slide. So just a bit on our methodology. We're really end-to-end. We have both agentless and agent-based capture methodologies. So you really need a flexible deployment mechanism for enterprises, whether it be mid-sized or large enterprises. So we have both agentless and agent-based capture. And our capture is very broad. So you can, if you have internal assets, we get that. But also, if you have external assets, if you have assets in the cloud, whether it's public or private cloud assets, we still capture those metrics, as well as VMware environments. We're all about end-to-end maintaining that holistic view across all your IT infrastructure and all your IT assets. Okay. And this is, again, this is a case study that we did with Cisco. Cisco is offering Centerity as a cloud managed services offering, and they're focusing now on HANA, but they will hopefully in the future will be expanding that. But I think it's a good example of again, what they're doing and the problems they're trying to solve. So Cisco itself has many of their own tools. They have third-party tools, but they what they wanted to really do is improve the business reporting capabilities in real time. So that was the challenge they were facing. How do they create real-time reporting capabilities across multiple technology components? And they also wanted to gain the synergies that Business Service Management offers. You know, that correlation across technologies and functional domains. And what they look for is a unified platform for, again, flexibility, scalability, and to give them that unified approach to their entire environment and the ability to create executive dashboards for their clients. And ultimately, their experience once they deployed Centerity was the ability to, again, to eliminate time switching between consoles. So rather than having multiple consoles and having to, again, really execute a manual process to find out what the status of those individual technologies are, and then figure out how they impact each other, which was really impossible. They gained the flexibility of a unified platform so they could see in real time how their technologies and functional departments are impacting each other. They could do rapid root cause analysis and smart root cause analysis because they could see all the technologies on a single platform, and they could do proactive alerting and predictive trend and dependency analysis based on, again, having all this data in one location and normalized. Okay? And again, this is a picture of the stack that they're doing for the business service management stack of IT monitoring they're offering for their SAP clients. It involves certainly SAP, but all the SAP HANA resident applications like ERP. And in that stack, there are a lot of other supporting technologies that make it all work. You need to be able to monitor the compute layer, the operating system layer, the network layer, and the storage layer. And if all of those things aren't functioning at a very high level, you really can't tell, you know, the overall health of your physical components and your virtual components. Okay. So this is a picture of a dashboard that we could create for clients. It shows the status of a key business process in real time. So here you can see how your HANA ERP is functioning. It's at a 98% service availability level. Sorry that the picture isn't coming out great on here, but again, you get the example where you're an executive and you want just a high-level view, or even an operator, you want a high-level view of status. And here you can see how your SLAs are performing against your SLAs, and you can do rapid root cause analysis by going to the next screen. You can drill into these dials, and everything is drillable, so you can drill into these dials and see what is causing a degradation in service. So even though we're at 98% here service availability, you're less than 100%. You may want to address that. Okay. So here we see a picture of a business service definition, and this is by drilling into that dial we saw on the first page. So you can see what your overall service availability is, and you can see it's less than 100%. And very quickly you could learn exactly which component is causing a degradation in service. Here it's hard to see, but it would be UCS servers that is causing a less than 100% to performance availability. So very quickly you can get alerted on this, or you can drill into it and see exactly what the problems are causing a degradation in service. So very rapid root cause analysis. Because of this definition, you'll also only be alerted on those things that are problematic, not getting thousands of alerts that you have to sift through, not a lot of false positives. And the way this is built is that we have a way of, again, adding technologies into this view. Each technology gets its own line item. Each technology line item gets an overall service availability score or its own SLA, and all those SLAs roll up an overall score. So very much top down. So from an executive, you can see the top. From an administrator, you can drill in very quickly and see what's going on. And you could drill into the UCS server and see exactly which metrics are alerting you. Okay, thank you. The next case study would be about SAP Co-Innovation Labs. We did a test with them, and this really started off our whole relationship with SAP. They needed a system. Next slide, please. They needed a system that was going to give them visibility of all their critical business processes, and they wanted to measure their SLAs, very clearly in real time as well as over time. They needed a system to do smart root cause analysis, and they really want to reduce their operational costs by not having multiple people doing manual things effectively by monitoring different servers. And they also, SAP HANA, the environment and SAP itself is expensive, so they wanted to maximize that investment by making it as efficient as possible. So what they look for is a flexible and scalable monitoring platform that could give them business service management views and create, they could customize critical dashboards of their critical business processes. And what they experienced is that they were able to set up our system in one day because of the unified platform. It comes as a single software appliance. They were able to set it up in one day, and over a 2-day period, we were able to configure over 600 services and get views of those 600 services or those metrics. And this was able to do that because we have a plug-in system, so we can create plug-ins that describe the information that's necessary. So we were able to issue SQL inquiries into the database and get critical KPIs back from the database itself. And this is something we did, but it's also something that SAP did themselves. So you don't have to go in and recode the system or touch the code. The core code is stable. They can create their own plugins and their own inquiries and get key information back. And because they could get everything from all the critical components and technologies, they could very quickly configure the BSM views and again get that holistic view of their entire environment. And we were able to monitor even the SAP applications on HANA itself out of the box. Okay? So they were able to use our advanced UI capabilities to create their own KPIs, as I mentioned. And we have a very flexible feature set that allows them, power users to do specialized things, including, customizing roles and customizing views for individuals, which was important to them. Their overall experience was they were able to dramatically reduce the effort to manage their infrastructure and do their monitoring because of the unified platform, because of the single pane of glass. They were able to do it, and they were able to create alerts and get alerts in an intuitive way and solve problems very quickly because of the BSM views. And just as a picture of our dashboard, this is a systemic view. At the top level, you can see systemic metrics about overall service availability and the number of normal states, critical, and warning states you have in the system. You can also see how your hosts are performing, your business service processes are performing, and you can also see your your critical tickets that are at the bottom. So on one screen, you can see the overall system, but you can drill into any part of the system to get down to the very low detail. So it's a system that not only can address the needs of a manager, but also operators. So not only do you have a unified coverage platform, but you've got a unified platform that can cover all functions in the organization. And lastly, hopefully I haven't talked too long, but we have a great way of creating live visual layouts. And this is a way you can import any picture, whether it's a geographical map. In this case, you can import a stack. You can highlight each of the components in the stack, and those are live images, so you can see the status of each of those components and the overall status by the color of the halos around those items, but you can also drill into those. This is a very easy way for people to consume information. They can get an overall score of service availability, but they can see exactly which components, how they're functioning, and drill into those status icons to get down to a very detailed level. So our customers love this. Again, any kind of visualization tools are really important. It's a very easy way to consume information rather than looking at reams of reports. And these can be created within minutes through our system. And that's what I had to say. That's what we're doing. That's our solution. Certainly encourage any comments, and hopefully I was informative to your audience.
I think so. I mean, the biggest thing that we always preach is visibility and accessibility. and your single pane of glass, as you call it, allows that. So I really think that's a very positive thing. Also, the fact that it's very mobile in the sense of upgrades and things like that, because that's the biggest thing. I think it was one of the companies that did a marketing study said that 70+% of network monitoring deployments failed within the first 6 months. Well, that means it took more than 6 months to deploy them and get them up and running. And your system looks like it can be deployed very rapidly.
I think that's true. That's one of the things I'm most proud of, even though I didn't do any of the code. But things are changing so rapidly. If you've got a system that's going to take, as you said, 6 to 9 months or even 3 months to go in, something is going to come in. Some critical item is going to come into an organization that's going to maybe take your attention away. So that can even lengthen the time it takes to get a project underway. So speed to value, time to value is critical in this market and most markets. And I think that's what one of the things I'm most proud of here, that we can be functioning in days, if not weeks, for very large organizations, so they can be getting value almost immediately, and therefore you can get it in and get going quickly and give people confidence. Whereas some of the larger sort of legacy competitors will take quarters, years, or never. And so that is a key component: getting it up, getting running, getting value. And again, one of our major features and major value propositions.
So Marty reminds us, our audience again, how long, when did you actually release this product, and how long has the company around and all that?
Yeah, the company has been around in the U.S. We've been here for about 2 years. I joined about 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. And our management team, Roy Karen, our CEO, started back then, slightly before I started. He came to the U.S. R&D is in Israel. The company was started there prior to 2006. So we've been around long enough to be a very stable product. We're on version 4 of our product now. So long enough to be stable, but new enough to be that next-gen solution.
Good. And if they want to get an evaluation copy of your product, how do they go about doing that?
Absolutely. They just they send me an email. We'll send them a link to download the software. And all we do is, because it's an enterprise class solution, we ask them to spend an hour of time with one of our engineers to make sure it's set up and we can do some knowledge transfer and some training. But again, that's all it is. It's a download. We send them a 30-day key. They can play with it. But the only commitment is that they spend an hour with us to make sure it's all set up and tuned properly, so they can see the full value of it.
Excellent. Thank you, Marty. We're going to wrap this up because we want to make this a half-hour show. Thanks again for coming, and we welcome you back in the future. Tim, just a quick summary, and then I'll close the show.
Well, first off, this is a great product. I've always felt that rapid deployment, rapid understanding, ease of use, ease of understanding is key. Visibility is the highest priority. I've been a big proponent of us building the visibility plane, and that can mean many things, but we've got to start looking at our network in ways that we haven't looked at it before. On the worldwide front, I tell everybody to make sure you change your eBay, PayPal passwords, because they were hacked pretty well. I know eBay was. PayPal's kind of recommending you do the same thing. So be safe out there, because it's a crazy world. And Marty, thank you. I think this has given people a lot of stuff to think about how to manage their network going forward.
Yeah. Okay. So just a reminder, LMTV is our the video part of our Love My Tool network, and we've been using it as both a regular weekly panel, which is what we're doing today, and also a mechanism for interviewing exciting solutions, and as well as luminaries in the industry. With that said, tomorrow, Thursday, we're actually going to have a special show at 9:30, same time, and we'll be interviewing Gerald Combs, who needs no introduction. But if you do need an introduction, he is inventor of Wireshark. So Tim and I are very excited about that. Again, back to the WTF. Just a quick. We love doing this for our sponsors. In addition to having a conversation among ourselves, but We last week we did the first show for Marty for Centerity, and let's just say we got some good results. We actually have a potential customer contacting them saying that they got their name and some idea of the solution from our website, potentially from viewing the video that we did, viewing the WTF episode. We're not that's what Tim and I are here for. We won't be doing this if we didn't think that if we don't like what we see, and Tim thinks very highly of you, Marty, highly of your company. So let's just do more of that. With that, let's close the show. Thanks again, and see you tomorrow.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Marty.
Be safe, everybody.
Thanks, Tim.